Hello, I'm Karen and today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make the Dora cardigan. I did actually share a video a while ago where I actually just shared how to do this beautiful frill at the bottom, and I had so many requests, can I please do the full cardigan, because I'd made the top slightly different. So today I'm going to share with you the instructions how to do the full cardigan. I'm not going to crochet the full cardigan because this one actually took me, this is a size 3 months, well 0 to 3 months. This one took me 7.5 hours to crochet. So it is quite time consuming and it does take up quite a bit of yarn. So you're going to need, I'm going to move this out of the way because I'm actually going to crochet in blue today. But you're going to need 2 full balls of yarn. And so these are, I'm using double knit yarn and it's 100-gram balls, and you need 2 because one ball you don't even get to the very end of the frill before you even add on the sleeve. So you need the second ball to add on the sleeves and the final parts of your cardigan, okay? So I'm using a double knit yarn, I'm using a 4mm crochet hook, and we're starting off with a larger neck size today, so we're going to begin with a chain of 54. Now you can cast on with a slip stitch or a slip knot, sorry, or you can do the twist like I do, which is just a full anti-clockwise twist. So we're going to do a chain of 54. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. I'm getting a bit tangled up there. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53 and 54. Now we're going to be using the double crochet if you're in America, and it's the treble crochet if you're in the UK. And with this particular pattern, because we're using the double crochet, we always work the first stitch in stitch number 4, or the chain number 4. So we count down our little V's, so it's 1, which is right next to your hook there, so that's 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th chain. Yarn over, and underneath one strand make your double crochet. If you are a beginner, this one will take you a lot longer, and it is a little difficult. I would say that once you've been crocheting for a while it's easier. Anyway, so I've done 1 double crochet, but the chain actually counts as a stitch this time. So this technically, you need to remember that this is your first double crochet is actually stitch number 2, so that you work to the end correctly, otherwise it won't work. And we're using 8, 8, 16, 8, 8 as our main pattern for this beginning. So this is 1 and 2, underneath one strand of your chain, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, I can't get in that one, 7 and 8. So now I'm going to do a corner, and I'm making this square shaped corner, so we're going to work 2 double crochet into the same space, chain 1 and work 2 double crochet back into that same space. Okay, and as you can see it's already going around the corner, which is how a granny square works. And now we're going to double crochet in the next 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, excuse me, and 8. So we're going to do another corner. So the corners are always the same, so it's 2 double crochet. That's 1, 2, oops, chain 1 and 2 more double crochet, all in the same chain. So that's 1 and 2. Yeah. Now we're going to work across what is going to be the back of our cardigan. So this is the longest bit, so this is 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now we're going to do another corner, so it's 2 double crochet, so that's 1, 2, chain 1 and 2 double crochet, all in the same space. And then we're going to work 8 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is the last corner. So it's 1, 2 in the same space, chain 1 and work 2 more in the same space. That's 1 and 2. And then we're going to work in the last 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm sorry, 7 and 8. Okay, so once you've completed your first row, you will end up with a piece which looks like that. Yeah, if you lay it down. Now from now onwards, theoretically we don't need to count because it just increases naturally like the granny square does. So you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn, and this time what we're going to do is we're going to work in between the posts. Yeah, so you've got the actual double crochet themselves. Once they've been worked up, they're called posts. So we're not going to go in the top where you would normally. We're going to go in between and we're going to double crochet all the way to the corner. Okay, so it's literally just in between the posts, and it creates a different effect as from what you were doing if you was actually working into the top of each of your stitches. Just get some more yarn. Whoops, I'm all twisted, so I'm straightening it out. And so we're working in between the posts. Hope you can see what I'm doing all right. And we just make our way up to the corner. The corners are always the same. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you work the corner now. So this is where you've already worked one corner. So in between the posts, you would crochet, double crochet there. Then into the chain one space, you always make a new corner. And so the corner is always the same. So it's 2 double crochet. That's my 2, chain 1, and 2 double crochet in the same space. And because you're doing this is actually where you're doing your increases, so it just naturally increases as you go. And like I said, it's because you can actually crochet for so long without actually doing any counting. This is where people can forget where to begin from. So this video is going to be like a reference video, so that you can come back and you can check just because of that beginning bit, or you can write it down if you want to, just so that you know what the amount of stitches are. I need some more yarn. Like I say, this pattern it's more the frill. It makes you use a lot of yarn, this one, but it's well worth it. It's a stunning cardigan to make, especially if you do it all nice and neat, and it's just one of those gifts that's, I think it'll be really, really well received. Now I've got to this next corner, and I'm actually do my double crochet there. I'm going to work into the corner as you do normally, which is 2 double crochet, chain 1, and the 2 double crochet. And I'm going to share something with you now, because I came across something and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And when I was talking to my mum, we decided and realised this is actually a paradox, because what's happened is that you've done an increase in this one corner, you've done an increase in this corner, so by rights you should have an increase of 2 stitches if you're actually counting when you go across the back. So I'm going to count across the back. You've watched me do it, you'll do it yourself and you'll see what happens. So this is 1, and we're in between the posts, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sorry, 11, ooh, that was stitch number 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, oops, I've lost my tension, 17, 18, 19. So as you can see, we've actually, even though that we did one increase in each corner, this is actually increased by 3. And logically that doesn't make sense, so therefore it's a paradox. So just thought I'd share that piece of information with you, because if you are counting and you think, oh, I've made a mistake, you actually haven't. And I'll show you again if I crochet down the side. So I'm going to do my corner, so it's 2 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochet. So we've always used even stitches, and we know that we counted and this was definitely 8. But now when we work in between the stitches, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you just heard that, my tap decided to just do one of those strange trips. So I was on 4, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So you can see, because we started off with 8, we've gone up another 3. So I don't know whether it's because I'm working in between the stitches. I'm really not 100% sure, but logically it doesn't make sense. But I'm doing my corner, so it's 2, chain 1, work 2 in the corner, and I just thought I'd share that with you, because it's just one of those things. It does happen with this pattern, and if you are counting for some reason, which you don't really need to, which is what I did, you find out that it increases by 3. So that's just a little bit of information to add on for you to share, for me to share with you. So I'm nearly at the end now. So what I'm going to, it's just, I want to get to the end to show you where we did the beginning chain and how you work in between it, so you can see how it actually worked as a stitch. So here we are. I'm really sorry, but there we go. That's the beginning. That's the chain of 3 that we left when we actually turned the corner, when we was at the beginning, and we work in that space, and so it's treated like a stitch. Yeah, and you still keep doing the same. It's chain 3, 2, 3, turn, and you keep working with a double crochet in between the posts all the way along. And what you need to do is you need to actually work until you've actually got 5 rows of this. Now I've already taken 15, well it's 17 minutes actually to get to this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my hook from there, and I'm going to move on to, this is what it looks like when you've actually got 5 rows. So this is the size difference from me increasing. Once you've actually got to your 5, you've completed 5 rows, this is where we change things. And what we do is we chain 1 and turn. And I'm just going to pull out some yarn. I've got another ball of yarn. I've got 3 balls of yarn on the go. And then we're going to do a single crochet now in between the posts, okay? Just like we're still working in between the posts of this one, just so that it matches all the way across. And I'm not going to do any more counting. I just wanted just to share that with you because I just thought it was an interesting fact that actually happens. And I never realised that the cardigan itself was actually forming a paradox. I thought it was kind of cool. So we single crochet all up in between all of the posts right up until we get to the very first corner. And when we get to the corner, we'll work 1 single crochet into the actual corner where we've done our chain 1. And here we are, look. So 1 single crochet there. And now this is where we're going to fold it over, because this is going to be making our sleeves. So I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then fold it over. So ignore all of those and go to the next corner and work a single crochet. Okay, and then in between the posts all the way across the back, we're going to carry on and do the single crochet all the way, just in between the posts. So you don't need to count or do anything at this point. So when you're actually creating the yoke of the cardigan, it is it's just one of those ones you can just crochet along and you can talk away, say, except for the first when you do your first chain, obviously you need to count your 54 and your first row, and then from then onwards you can just crochet away and just chatter if you want to. And I'm trying to move on because I've gone past my time already. I practiced this over and over again so that I could try and keep it to be a shorter video but actually contain all the different sections of creating a cardigan. So, but obviously I've got to get to the other point now to be able to show you where to go from here. So I'm trying to crochet quite quickly but still keep it nice and neat. I recommend you take your time when you're crocheting your cardigan, and as you're working with it and it's growing bigger and it's sitting on your lap, it's just I don't know, it's just a really pleasant thing to crochet. Oops. Right, so I've single crocheted all the way to the next corner. Now I need to make my other sleeve hole or my armhole. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason why we've got the 4 is just to make sure we've got plenty of arm space. You know, you'd like to get the arms in, and this also increases the chest size slightly. Straight into the next corner, we do our single crochet and then carry on in between the posts all the way to the very end, and then we're going to actually start working on the frill of the actual Dora cardigan, which was actually printed in 1931 in Australia, and it was Dora Smith and who actually created this pattern. So we're at the end now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to start working the actual pattern itself of the Dora frill. So this is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn, and now we're going to actually work into our stitches this time. So into the very first single crochet that we made, we're going to work 5 double crochet. Oh no, we're not, I'm fibbing. I'm sorry, we're going to work 3. 1, 2, 3. We always do 3 at the end because it gives you a straighter finish. You skip a single crochet and then you actually work a single crochet. So that's chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and from this point onwards we now do 5. So, but we're working into the next stitch, so we work 5 into there. So that's 1. Oh, I've split my yarn. As much as I know I'm on a video, I can't cope with the split yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 1, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, into the next space, 5 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 1, single crochet. Just going to pull some more yarn out. So this pattern, from now onwards, you're going to actually keep on repeating yourself over and over and over and over and over again, and you're going to work until you get to the end of your ball of yarn. Okay, so chain 3, 1, 2, 3, work 5 double crochet in the next one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 1, work in your single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Same, because this is so repetitive and you're doing everything over and over and over again. I'm just going to work my 5, and you need to be checking all the time. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip one and single crochet. Now I've got to the place, I've got to the chain now. I need to do my chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and into my chain I'm going to be working 5 double crochet. So we're just carrying on the pattern and treating the chain like our row of single crochet. So that's 2, oops daisy, 3, 4, 5, 5, skip one and work a single crochet. Okay, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to continue this all the way across till you get to the other side. Now I will tell you that doing this at the beginning you can't see the pattern very well, but to get to the other end it's going to take approximately 15 minutes. Now with this particular one that I'm showing you here and the size, you should end up and finish on a single crochet. Now if for some reason, like I'm going to share with you on this one, if you've decided to start, this one's got a smaller yoke, okay, start off with a smaller neck, but to get to the same width across the chest I needed to do a total of 7 rows, and when I did that it meant that I ended up with 2 stitches, because I'm going to do the single crochet. I don't know if you can see this properly. I think there's a single crochet there. I'll undo it. Yeah, so I've done my 5 double crochet, and then what happens is you skip one single crochet, then you're supposed to do 5 double into this one, and that one at the end is actually supposed to be skipped. Okay, but because you need to end up on a single crochet, what you can do is carry on the pattern and skip that one there and work your single crochet, or you can just, so I'm going to show you, so you skip one single crochet, you've got to the end, you've got 2 left, and you're like, oh dear. So what you do is you chain 3, 2, 3, and then into the next one, as you would be normally, you work your 5 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and saying theoretically you are supposed to skip one, but we haven't got any more left, so we're going to work our single crochet into the very last space. And this bit doesn't, oops, I've moved that out of the way, so on my arm. Right, so that's, you've got to the end of your row. Now to do row 2, it's still the same sequence of events. So we do chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to turn our work, and as the bigger it gets, the more fiddly it's going to be, of like, for me to try and show you because I'm on a table, but when you're doing it on your lap it's a lot easier. So this single crochet that you finish with there, that's where you're going to work your 5 double crochet. But so at the beginning of the row we always do 3. So that's 1, 2 and 3. I suppose really it would be fine for you to do your 5, but I just found it made it neater, and the pattern does actually say to do 3. Now we look at this little fan that we've made, and where your chain ended, which is the top of a double crochet, you need to work a single crochet just there, and this is what curves up your fan to make the frill. So then you do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now you're going, there's already a chain there from previously, and there's your single crochet from your previous round. I don't know if you can see that properly. And we work our 5 double crochet into the single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And as you can see, the way I'm having to hold my work and fit into the spaces, it just is more time consuming. So then we get to this end of the chain, which is the last double crochet. So you want to go underneath your 2 strands, you work a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and at the bottom of the chain is where in the single crochet is when we work our 5 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, I'm running out of yarn, 4 and 5, and then into the other end of the chain there, single crochet. So it's just repetitive now, backwards and forwards. And I will be honest, this is the longest part. It takes up the most of your yarn, and you just crochet and crochet and crochet until you get to the end of your ball of yarn, and it will look something like this. I've actually not got to the very end of my yarn because I've actually saved a bit here just to show you, because realistically I should carry on and I should change over my yarn. Now when it comes to changing over, oh look at that, how my light difference changed. When you actually come to changing over, you know, when you're adding another ball of yarn, make sure that you do your single crochet and then begin your new ball with the chain of 3, because it just works out easier. Now I'm going to show you this particular part because I've stopped here deliberately, because this theoretically is the right way around. When I look at my work, you can see where I've done my chains there, and you can see the end of my work there. So obviously if you look on the inside, it looks different. Now you don't need to worry whether that's the right way around or not. When you actually get to the very end, you can crochet as long as you want, because when you actually have got to the end, I'm going to show you on this one because obviously I've finished on this side. So if I was going to then work the edges, I would normally I'd do it at the other end and I work my way up and come all the way around this way round, but obviously I'm doing it this way round to show you if you was working on the inside of your work. So where you was doing your chains of 3 at the end, to be able to make, I'm sorry, I'm trying to explain everything and not really showing you, to make this nice neat edge. It's really difficult to show you what, can you see that? So I've actually worked my single crochets into the actual chain to give you this beautiful neat edge. Okay, so that's what you do, is you look at your chain. This is where it becomes fiddly again, but you just work into the actual the chains of the end and just work at single crochets into the actual chains. And it's very slow and very time consuming. You go all the way up to the very top, and then say it doesn't matter whether you work this way around or the other way around, you go underneath the 2 strands at the very top, and you come all the way right round. So you're going all the way up the top, round the neck and back down again. Okay, and that's how you do the actual edge of it there. And now this one as well, I actually did a mistake on this one, and so I'm going to share with you just in case you happen to make any mistakes, because on the very first row, it's on the other one, say it fitted nicely. For some strange reason this one didn't. But you look at your actual work, because we want to add on our sleeves. Now because I want to add on a sleeve, that means I've got to I'm going to cut off this bit of yarn there, because I've run out of, I only had 4 balls of this, and so I've run out now, so I had to do another one. So I'm actually going to use a slip knot this time. Okay, I'm already on 33. I'm getting concerned of how long I've been working. This is fiddly for me to show you because I haven't got the room. But what you do is you look under your sleeve. I'm trying to show you the stitches. You'll have a fan and you'll have a double crochet post. But they're not in exactly the same space, you know. So the post is more over to this side on this one, yeah. So, but what you want to do is you find your space in between that post, and then you're going to I put a single crochet to attach it on. Then you do a chain 2, so that's 1, 2. Okay, and then where the actual fan is, there's actually a little space of the, there's 1 strand left. So I'm going to work a double crochet there. And then we're moving round to the corner here. And really, what you want to do is, when you, I can't show you properly, it's really fiddly. when you get to this corner here, there is actually 2 strands of yarn, and there's like a bit where you've got one. Make sure you go underneath the 2, it makes it a neater finish. And then you've got the corner. I skip that corner because I don't want to have the full amount of stitches, because if I actually, and I know at this point it looks like that they're really far apart, but when you've actually crocheted it up and you worked along, it's not. So because I do actually really need to count all my stitches, I'm going to go back and start. And so we count the chain 2 as a stitch, where it was a single crochet and chain 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll finish off that stitch. This is really awkward on a video because normally it's on your lap and you've got lots more room to manoeuvre your work. What did I say that was? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, oops, 12. Or see, this is what I'm saying, it's really awkward for me to try and show you. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and we've got 2 there to work into. That's 26. For some reason the corner always seems bigger on the other side, so I work 1 into there, so that's 27. And then I'm back into the actual underneath the arm, and where there was a post there, so I'm actually going to do another one in there. So what was I on? 27 or 28? Oh, I can't remember now. Right, I'll count on the way back because what you do is you want to reduce until you actually get to 26. So, but we don't go around and around for doing the sleeves on this one. Dora shows you how to, well, explains how to go backwards and forwards. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm turning my work, which is, I say, it's a bit fiddly when you first start off doing the sleeve, but once you've got going it seems to open out and it's easier to work in. Now, because I want to reduce my stitches going back, I'm not going to work into the very first one. So we skip the first one and work into the second one because my chain is still counting as a stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I was trying to get it all in one video. I'm not sure that I'm going to. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We need some more yarn. 22, 23, 24, 25, going in between the posts there, that's 26, and the last post there, because that's where my chain, where you can see where I started, it does pull funny. I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to clear out things so you can see. So we've got to, when we get to the end, you can see that's the end. So that one made it 27. So by rights I need to reduce down another one, so I'll chain 2. It's always chain 2 on the sleeves. It gives you a lot nicer finish when you actually, because you sew up the sleeves together. Okay, so you turn, and because we're reducing still, I'm going to skip the first post and work into the next one. And so, and remember that my chain also counts as a stitch. So that's number 2, 3, 4, and we keep on going, 5, we keep on going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, so you end up with an open sleeve. But then because you've done this, so once you've got down to 26 and you've got your 26 stitches, you work in every single post all the time for the rest of it until you've actually done 16 rows. Okay, so the way I try and remember it is I've got 16 across the back of my stitches and I've got 16 on my sleeve. For this particular pattern it just works. It's not necessarily going to be true for doing increases of sizes, but because this is a 0 to 3 months, it does actually work. So you keep on going backwards and forwards until you've actually got 16. And I'm sorry, I haven't actually got one with a sleeve on it. I should have prepared one with a sleeve on it, shouldn't I, really? But I wanted you to see what it looked like without. So when you start adding the sleeves, if I just pull this to one side, as you can see, I've started to increase the sleeve on this side. Okay, and on this side is the side that I haven't. But you can see when you look at that, if you didn't know that my tail end was there, because you're working in between the stitches, it is completely seamless. So when you actually finish your cardigan, oh gosh, I've got yarn everywhere. So when you actually get to the end, then your sleeve is beautiful. It just looks completely seamless, and it looks like, for this cardigan, it looks like the sleeves and the yoke have all been made in one, when, as I've just shown you, they actually haven't. Now there is one more little bit that I need to show you, because like I said, this is an instruction video and I'm trying to share with you all the little details and little pitfalls that you may come across. And I've got so much yarn, I'm in a tangled up mess, and sorry because I keep changing over, my colour's going a bit weird. But if you look at this cardigan here where we've added on the pattern, you will see that this, you've got your single crochet row that you worked in between your stitches there. That's this row here. Now when you've actually got it in front of you, you might decide it doesn't look as tidy as you'd like. It doesn't matter which way around you have it. Realistically, it's like you can there is, I suppose it's more noticeable this side than it is the other side, but it is noticeable that you've done a change there. And so what I did is I've got you start off with your work. I'm just going to get a random bit of yarn. I know it's not, that's the bit that I'm actually working with there. I'll undo it again in a minute. You start with your work like this. You put your hook through the stitch, okay, and then you pick up your yarn from underneath, so you're not going to see what you're doing. So I'm going to pick it up and yarn over, and I'm going to pull it through. And now this is where, say, if you're more advanced crochet, you can do this. Maybe a beginner might not necessarily. And then you're going to put your hook back into the yoke. You're yarning over at the back and you're pulling it through. But obviously you need to keep your tension all the way as you're doing it. So all the way across that single crochet there. So you're just going to pick up your yarn each time, and you're just going to do, it is a slip stitch, But because you're actually going through the work this way around, you're actually technically doing a timbre stitch, which is one of the old stitches that I mentioned from when you're doing the lace and the netting and things like that. And so it just gives you a lot neater finish. So if you look in comparison to this side here, and you can see already the difference that just doing that slip stitch across there, and it just gives a really, really nice finish to the end of your work. Okay, so I've spent 45 minutes now already trying to share with you. Say this is an instruction video. I've broken it down into sections to help you, because obviously it's going to take a long time. You need to be prepared that you know when you do this one, you know it's going to, you might crochet for an hour and you've only got a little tiny bit, yeah, after you. So if you did all of the yoke and started onto the actual frill, you might only get 2 rows along and you've crocheted for an hour and you need a break. Go and have a cup of coffee, go have a cup of tea, yeah, and then come back and then work for another hour or even 2 if you like. But I do recommend that you do actually have your breaks, because once you're doing this one, it's so repetitive, because you're counting 5, then 3 and 5 and 3 and 5 and 3, and before you know it, you've chained 5 and only got 3 of these double crochet. And so, and when, if we say, because it takes 15 minutes to do 1 row, so if you've made a mistake right near the beginning of 1 row, and then you've done 15 minutes worth of work and then 15 minutes again, and you come across the mistake, you're like, oh, that's half an hour's worth of work that you've got to undo. So it's better to make sure that you rest, keep your mind for this one, because it's very therapeutic, but it's also almost hypnotizing that you somehow seem to lose count. It's just one of those things that you do come across while you're doing it. I'm sorry, my hands now look yellow because my lighting's going. It's weird. I think it's because it's such a gloomy day and the sun keeps trying and come out. So I'm really sorry about that. But I hope I've provided you with enough information this time so that you can actually make yourself this cardigan. I'm just going to get my tape measure. I'll take my hook out of that one because obviously I need to undo that bit and sort that one out. And I'm going to get this one. I'm just going to, I know it's not very visible with my white background, but actually if I measure the back so you can see, I mean, because it's like if you had it as a dress, it's just stunning. But you measure it and you will see that from armpit to armpit, it is actually 10 inches across the back, okay? It's slightly shorter at the front, but that means it's going to fit a 20-inch chest. And the sleeve holes themselves, they're where we're actually going to be putting in. If you measure diagonally, they are actually the 4 inches, which is the correct size. You know, if you look on the children's charts, it tells you that you need 4-inch armholes, but if I did it down like that, it's actually only 3.5, but you've got this little bit that goes underneath around the corner, so it's ample room. And the reason why it's 0 to 3 months is because obviously all babies are born different sizes, and I know from personal experience this would have fitted my children when they was about 3 months old, because I had little babies, because I'm not very big myself, so I had petite babies. And so I'd have to wait. But then there's bigger people, you know, like 6 foot or more tall, having a baby. So they're obviously going to have a bigger baby. So this one may fit from newborn for some people, but others you've got to wait till they're 3 months old, because obviously you've got that growing difference. So I'm classing it as a 0 to 3 months. As you can see there, it's curving over a little bit. That is my fault, because really I should have put 2 single crochet to go around the corner, and I didn't. I just went straight round the corner. So that's another little pitfall of little mistakes that you come across. But if you just make a chain on there and put a little button if you wanted to, but I personally, I've left it like this just because I wanted to show you how beautiful the edge is when you work into the actual double crochet, into the chains at the end. It just looks absolutely stunning, and it's one of those ones where I don't think you need to add any extra colours or do anything else. You want to look at the beauty of your work and not be distracted by you've got all this fabulous stuff and then a really gross colour next to it. Sometimes they distract and make your work look cheap and nasty. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being honest there. I think that when it's something like this, it is. You've spent so long doing it, you want it to still look classy and nice. You want it to be, I mean, this is the sort of thing you'd be happy to put your baby in, to be able to go to a wedding or to a christening, and you'd be really, really proud of your work. But then if you did something like a strange mustard for this across it, unless obviously it was, the mustard was the theme for the wedding, then it's different. But then if you've got a strange colour with it, it can make it look really bad. So I recommend stick to a plain colour and see, because looking at it in the white, you can see absolutely how beautiful it is, and the same in the blue. It's still equally as pretty and as beautiful. Okay, so I hope I've given you enough information. Oh, I've got yellow hands again because I swapped over. So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for all the comments and the requests that have actually, from when I did this pattern, that has made me make this video. I hope it's enough information for you. If not, I'm sure that you'll tell me. Okay, so thanks again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate all your comments. I do read them. I'm sorry I just don't have enough time to be able to reply to all of the comments and all of the different things that happen to me. I never realised that I never intended to be a YouTuber, so I didn't expect such a high response to my work. So, and I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry, I can't do everything. I'm just not that way. So thanks again. Bye for now.